You know, white people like to talk about civilization like we brought it here on a fucking boat. Please. Hell, the Aztecs are building cities cleaner and more sophisticated than anything in Europe. They gave us the crops that kept the world from starving. And how did we pay them? We stole their gold. Then we stole their blueprints for democracy to write our own constitution. And let's look at the black soul, the truth white America really wants to skip. Because if we admit what black folks actually did, white genius looks like a fucking lie. Black people didn't just create the swamps and build the White House. They designed the modern world. You're watching me on a cell phone right now because of Jesse Russell, a black man, pioneered digital cellular technology. You survived surgery because Charles Drew figured out the blood bank. We are living in a house designed by the minds we tried to cage, and we're still trying to ban the authors who wrote the truth about it. This is the white intellectual bankruptcy. The people we spent 400 years hunting have taken hold of the narrative, and white America is terrified. You're scared to death that black and brown people want to do to us what we've done to them. You're projecting your own violent heart onto them, hoping for a payback that fits your bloodthirsty history. But here's the raw, unvarnished truth about black people. They don't want revenge. They never did. That's a white fantasy born out of guilt. They just want to live their fucking lives without asking your permission. They just want what's fair. Basically, they want to just be left the fuck alone. So white America, we've tried everything else. We tried hate. We tried fear. We tried dominating everyone who doesn't look like us, and it's failed us. Isolation is death. When you cut off the flow of diversity, you aren't just starving your neighbors. You are tying a tourniquet around the veins of our democracy. Fact. America is diversity. Our strength wasn't in our walls. It was in our ability to fuse different minds into something unstoppable. Love is the most powerful, untapped, revolutionary resource in our entire fucking universe. It is the only thing that can turn a broken system into a sanctuary. This Freedom 250 hat, stick it up your fucking ass, because America ain't never been fucking free. All right? Because as the great Fannie Lou Hamer said, nobody's free. That includes you, white America, until everybody's free. Let that penetrate your little fucking minds. The dawn is coming, and the choice is yours.
Donald Trump's not the problem. MAGA's not the problem. ICE isn't even the problem. They're all symptoms. I mean, ICE is a imminent problem. They're an invading force in multiple cities and states, and they are literally a weaponized version of the Klan that is state-sponsored and has endless amount of money for some reason. But even if all three of those went away today, we would still have the problem. And the problem is this. White people, people who look like you and me, we've allowed white supremacy to flourish in this country for generations and generations and generations, so long that people don't even recognize it, myself included sometimes, right? I had a moment just last weekend, or just earlier this week in New Orleans, where I was speaking with a guy on a trolley who grew up there. And he's like, well, you're from the South, right? I grew up in North Carolina. That is the South. You might want to fight me on that. It's not the deep South. He said, you know why everyone's so polite here? And I was like, I don't. And he was like, well, we had to be. He was like, everyone had to be polite to each other, especially black people to white people, because if we didn't address them properly, we would get killed. I make U.S. history content, and I didn't even think about that. I grew up in the South, and I didn't even think about that. That's how normalized everyday white supremacy is in our country. And if the white people in this country don't decide that they're going to extricate the cancer that is white supremacy from themselves, from their homes, from their communities, from everything that they are surrounded with, we will be right back in this position 5 years from now, 10 years from now, however long it takes for the cycle to regenerate, because it will happen. Trump's not the problem. MAGA's not the problem. ICE isn't the problem. It's white supremacy. It's been white supremacy. It will be white supremacy. It's always been that. And if we don't work towards it to fix it now, then when? Oh, and by the way, if you're a white person watching this, guarantee you, when we get rid of white supremacy and the systemic white supremacy that kills people every day, every single one of us will be healthier. We'll all be wealthier. We'll have better access to food. We could even have walkable cities. We could have walkable cities, but that's white supremacy in action, right? The way we've designed our cities is white supremacy in action. So Just think about where you want this country to be in 5 or 10 years. Think about how loud you want to be. You will lose people. That's okay. We'll have each other. Let's go for it.
There are some truths and there are some things that the whites wouldn't want you to know. Maybe if you get to know that, it might affect them all around. It might affect them, the supremacy that they have over the blacks. Okay.
History is teaching white Americans how white slave owners raped, beat, humiliated, mutilated, murdered, and cannibalized their slaves. Accurate history is teaching that George Washington's false teeth were made out of his slaves' teeth. Accurate history is teaching that Abraham Lincoln may have said some words and signed some shit, but he did not physically do anything to free the slaves. The white abolitionists also often get almost total credit for freeing the slaves. I bet you've never even asked yourself what the slaves were doing to free themselves, and the answer to that is most of the fucking work, including giving the ultimatum of war. But then we get a bunch of white people mad that their kids might feel guilty if we teach real history. It's not about your white child's feelings. Teaching accurate history isn't about white people's feelings, but that does sound like something that someone who's only ever been taught a white glorifying version of history would counter with. Ask why we ever felt like we needed to curate a false version of what white people did and did not do to black people to begin with. And then ask yourself why white-ass politicians are verbally attacking real history by calling it slurs, which is, by default, also the act of calling black people slurs.
Hey guys, my name is Chantal. I am the owner of Chantal J, where I sell dope Afrocentric jewelry for black women. And please understand something. Hear me clearly. Over here in this space, we're black, we're proud, and very loud about it. I am having one final sale next Friday, April 11th, beginning at midnight Eastern Standard Time. It will only be for 24 hours. Select items will be restocked. My sensational oils and fragrances will not be included in this sale, y'all. Okay? So again, only 24 hours, 4/11, beginning at midnight. Save the date or shop early. Bye, guys.
You know the situation whereby you know that this particular person is bigger than you, can do things more than you, but you wouldn't want to admit it or accept the fact that this person is bigger than you. I think that is the point the whites and the blacks are in right now. The whites somehow have known that somehow the blacks are better and bigger than them. Supremacy all around, these people are bigger and better than me, but I wouldn't accept it. Reason being that if they should accept it, maybe there are some powers that has been relegated to them that will be shifted to the blacks. There are some things that they are controlling that the blacks will now take over and start controlling, thereby affecting so many things about them. You know, when you are in power, there are some authority you carry, there are some things you handle, there are some places you enter. Now, if the whites should accept the fact that, yeah, this person, this black is better or is doing better than me, you are somehow giving that person power to override you in some things. I think that is the truth the whites are yet to uncover. Like, till tomorrow, they will not even admit it. And I wouldn't blame them for that anyway, because who will be in that person's shoe, who will be in their position and would accept that kind of thing? I don't think it's done anywhere. So, that is just the situation on ground. Keep watching, guys. Now, some people saying that they should admit that they are wrong. How do you think it's possible? Like, a white will set up camera and tell you that he or she is wrong. He or she will admit that, yeah, the black is doing right. Meanwhile, he or she is doing the wrong thing. It's not possible. Now, you check it. It's not really possible. But at this point, I give special credit to all the original owners of the video used in this video. All we do is just for video analysis, educational purposes, and for research purposes, okay, solely for that. So regarding all those incidents and all those things happening, I must say it is solely when the blacks and the whites come together and understand the fact that we are one. Nobody is dragging anything with anybody. But when you start having that thought of you are dragging something with somebody, I think that is when it becomes an issue. It becomes a problem, which doesn't really make sense at all. Okay, so when someone is in power, it's just a natural phenomenon, a natural thing for the person. For the person to come out and admit it's a very hard thing. I haven't seen that. Yes, unless it takes the person's grace of God or the kind of person the person is, the personality. So the whites coming out to admit that, yeah, the blacks are better, or no, it wouldn't be possible. White Americans won't do that. Anyway, guys, if you have watched up to this point, thank you so much for watching. Do well to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share to your friends and loved ones. I would really love you all to keep engaging and keep coming back to this channel. Have a lovely day, guys, and take care of yourself. See you all in our next video. Till then, bye.